What's up guys, how y'all doing? Cosmic Carrie here, bringing you another World of Tanks video. For those of you that are new here, please subscribe to my channel, and for my regular viewers and subscribers, hello, welcome one and all, and as always a like would be ever so greatly appreciated. And today I shall be bringing you my review of the brand new premium available for a limited time. I think it's at the end, until the end of the month, for the pricely sum of 2,400 gold coins, which gives you the tank, a garage slot, and 3 days of premium. And it is the KV-220, a rare tank. This is considered a rare tank by Wargaming, and it is a tier 5 Russian heavy. As you can see, if you're familiar with the KV-1, there it is. You know, they're very similar tanks. KV-220 seems to have the edge on the hull size. You can see it's a slightly longer compared to the KV-1. So it's but the turret seems to be pretty much identical. But a KV-220 much larger, not much larger, ever so slightly larger. So comparisons important. Comparing it to the KV-1, of course, absolutely, yes indeed, let me squeezy. And if you look at it from the front, pretty much the same machine. Yeah, pretty much. And from the rear, I think it's almost identical. Yeah, it's pretty much identical. So anyhow, tier 5 Russian heavy. What to say about this piece here? It only rolls out to up to place 2 tier 6 compared to the KV-1, which rolls out to tier 7. But this is because it only comes with the stock gun, and of the KV-1, the 75mm. Let's take a look at that gun, and as you can see, 76mm, rate of fire 14, pen 99, damage 110. So nothing too spectacular there, nothing to speak of, but you know, it only rolls out to tier 6. Aim time 2.28. Need some equipment there, possibly, maybe, not the end of the world. Accuracy 0.45. So what to say about this beautiful little machine? I mean, when you compare it to the KV-1, when it comes to the armor, because it's all about the armor when it comes to the Soviet tanks, very interested in indeed. So if we have a look at the KV-1, you know, on the sides and front of the hull is 75, turret front and sides 90, 75. Now if we go over here to the KV-220, you can see the turret is pretty much the same. You know, the turret is pretty much the same. 90 at the front, you know, 75 on the sides, you know, 75 at the rear. But the hull does get a buff, you know, it goes up to 100. Goes from 75, you know, to 100. So there is that. So that's pretty decent, which is nice. Speed is pretty much the same. It does have a better engine, and it gives you 200 more horsepower. You know, which is, it doesn't give you a better speed, it's just acceleration, you know, to get going and all of that. Rotation is atrocious. View range is pretty much the same, as you can see, and 310 meters. But anyhow, what to say about the KV-220? This is a very decent tank. It is not a fantastic tank, it's not an amazing tank, it isn't a KV-1, absolutely, because of the fact, you know, the KV-1 is defined by its gun, you know, the 122mm, and that's what I roll out in the KV-1. And the KV-1 is one of those gems of a tank that I have kept, you know, when grinding. I didn't want to get rid of it, you know, like the T29 for instance. But the KV-1 isn't the KV-1 without its gun, you know, and this comes with the stock KV-1 gun. Having said that, it does get premium matchmaking, and because of that, you are you know, you get out onto the battlefield, and when you're top tier, you are a, you know, a beautiful, amazing, bouncing machine. You know, hardly anything can pen you. When it comes to this tank, you know, the turret. If you have a gun that can pen this tank, you know, the turret. Aim for the turret. Aim for the sides. When you're aiming at the front, try and aim for, you know, around the gun mantle. As you can see, it's pretty much almost flat. Almost flat. Not flat, but almost flat. But at the, you know, at the front of the turret, you can definitely, you know, if you have a gun that can pen, that's where you need to aim. You know, in the weak spots, you can see there's like a machine gun port there, etc., etc. But it is what it is. It's a heavy ass tank, and because of that, you know, you're lacking in speed, and that is the only hindrance, I would say, when it comes to this tank. That and the gun, which is, you know, it is what it is. It's a 75mm. It's got 99 pen, 110 damage. There are certain limitations to this tank, and I found myself most definitely coming top of the leaderboard at the end of the match. But whether or not I got, you know, it was a win or a, you know, or a loss, it wasn't up to me. It wasn't down to me, you know, 100%. And that was due to the fact you're playing mid-tier, you're in a slow tank, you know, you haven't got that much alpha damage per shot. So it, you know, it is what it is. If you're into heavy tanks, if you're into collecting Soviet tanks, if you're thinking about possibly maybe purchasing your first premium tank, it's you know, it's a valid option buying this tank. Absolutely. I was always placing first, pretty much. I say 90% of the games that I played in, I would place first. Whether or not I won the game, you know, our team won the game, that was something completely different, you know. So it's not a game changer of a tank, most definitely, 100%. So there's that to consider. It's not a feel-good bully of a KV-1 tank where you just obliterate everybody, and you know, and it's a flanking tank. It shuts flanks down, all of that good stuff, but it isn't a game changer of a tank, most definitely. Anyhow, is this gonna become one of my go-to tanks? I'm not sure. Let's get into some gameplay. Let's play some games, shall we? Okay, so let's we're gonna live comment and take out the 220 for a quick no. Okay, so that's kind of 50-50. You know, nothing. Matchmaking isn't exactly in our favor, but you know, it is what it is. It's pretty much a tier 5 game. Pretty much a tier 5 game. Any T20s on the opposing team? No. Okay, so we're gonna attempt to slow. So, to recap, 75mm, pen, 99, damage, 110. I do have 6 cents on this tank. And what you'll find in this tank, ooh, 6 cents, quick, get down, deep, undercover, deep, so deep, did it, nice. I think I could have done much anyway. One piece of artillery. But what you'll find is, I mean, it's a very, very decent premium. It's very decent, very similar to the KV-1, of course. It only comes with a stock gun, but you do get premium matchmaking because of that, and all that good stuff. But it is a slow tank. It's a slow, heavy Russian tank, and because of that, because of A, you're in a slow tank, and B, you're in mid-tier games where some of the players aren't as experienced as the players you normally play with. Look at this. Let's try and lower. Oh, okay. Let's take that now. Take that hill. You're gonna find that those are two like big negative factors, and most probably the most important and most crucial factors when it comes to this tank. The fact that it's slow, and the fact that you're playing with inexperienced mid-tier players. You know, there are players who are starting off their grind like me, you know, around 5, so they're somewhat experienced. But you'll find that when the game isn't going your way, so to speak, and you want to be changing the way the game is being played out, this is not a game changer of a tank because of the fact that it's so slow. And you'll do well on certain, you know, on your flank. You'll be doing great. You'll be doing fantastic. And call my son. But then you'll see the flank on the other side is kind of falling apart. And you want to go and help out, but you can't get there. You know, you're just too slow. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're playing in this. If you're considering purchasing this tank, it is a slow tank. And, I mean, you know, it is a slow Russian tank. Is engine on fire? What do I send this? Hello. But it's cool, it's fun, you know, you get to... So many times, you know, people are just bouncing off you like crazy. And that's cool. But yeah, Artie's always a pain. Yeah, quick reloading gun. So that's fun. So that's fun. But if a flank is collapsing, you know, and you're taking care of business on one side of the map, like look at this map, Carrie, it's massive. Okay, I'm sniping. I can snipe all the way over there. Russian accuracy isn't helping me out that much, but you're taking care of business over here. You know, you're shutting down a flank. Nobody can get past you. Players are like bouncing their shots off your tank. It's all wonderful. It's all good. But on the opposite side, you know, things are falling apart because due to the fact that maybe some of the players are inexperienced. Maybe somebody's is an experienced player but is having a bad day. Maybe, you know, he's simply overwhelmed, and what can you do? And you know, and that flank collapses, and you can't get over there to help because of the fact that, you know, you're too slow. You know, you're simply too slow. And you have to deal with that. You know, once you commit to a flank, you know you're gonna be down there, and that's that. So that you know, that's something to consider before, you know, considering whether or not you should buy this tank. Weird, Xbox1. And yeah, so there's that. But most definitely, you know, being a little bit too philosophical with regards to the fact that, you know, these mid-tier games, and all you get with this tank is mid-tier games, because, you know, it's premium matchmaking. But in a nutshell, it's a premium KV-1 with a stock gun, and it gets premium matchmaking, so you don't go beyond tier 6. But spending money on a tank that lacks speed is such an issue for me. I got it primarily because of the fact that I'm really into the Russians lately, and and I really love my KV-1, and but I love my KV-1 because of the gun, you know, and this does not get, you know, that gun. You know, this gets the stock gun. You know, it has its positives at the same time, you know, because of the fact that it's you know, reloads so quick and all of that good stuff, but you know, at the same time, it's not really a KV-1 now, is it? You know, it's not. It's a 220. but yeah. So okay. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I don't like being in a tank that cannot change the outcome of a match. You know, time and time again, I will be ranked first, like I said before, but win-loss, you know, it's not down to me at all. Oh, maybe I should go that way. Maybe I can push through the middle. Should I push through the middle? Push through the middle and then... Yeah, I should. There's only 2 scouts in the middle. Oh god, I hate that. Damn. Connect. Cool. Bye bye, Elector. No RD in place, so that's good. Why are you not lit up? Stop, dude. I'll do this. Quick. Ready. Try again, buddy. Alright. Shut down right now. Sugar. Do my best. Creeping up behind me. Come on. Do it again. Feel free. Come on, fishes. You're not a priority. Supposed to. Come on. Feel free. Oh, god damn it. I ain't got time for this. Shut these guys down. chasing me. Shoot me in the turret. You wanna kill me? Shoot me in the turret. We're giving up. I'm guessing. Let's have a look. Yeah, there. See, bounce, bounce, bounce. Have another look at that. Any hits in the turret? No. Good game, good game. But yeah, I mean, lots of skill there and blah blah blah, and you know, and the inexperience on their part, you know, because they could have, you know, penned me in the turret. Most probably they, you know, aiming for my lower plate, all that good stuff. But what can I say? You know, it's a mid-tier tank. It's only gonna play mid-tier. It comes with a stock gun, you know, from the KV-1. It is what it is. So, all that good stuff. So, if you're looking for your first premium, you know, something like that, you never experienced heavies before, and you kind of want to cushion the blow, maybe, possibly, of experiencing real heavies for the first time, you're approaching mid tiers, etc, etc, possibly maybe this could be the tank for you. If you're a higher tier player like myself and want to dabble in the mid tiers, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this tank. There is nothing in particular special about this tank apart from the fact that it reloads pretty quick. It has a bit of an armor buff compared to the KV-1, and it does get premium matchmaking. But what were my experiences playing mid-tier games? It's been a while since I played mid-tier games, and I kind of spent a whole morning, you know, playing in this tank. And I gotta say, you know, I didn't come away with like a sense of satisfaction, I have to say. Because recently I kind of discovered that mid-tier games are actually full of mid-tier players. I know this is kind of might sound stupid or whatever, but it kind of, I'm assuming that's what they are, because recently I went and had a look. I was going through my videos and I came across my 12 kill game where I played the tier 1 game and I got 12 kills, and I literally checked out the stats on each, I'd say about 50% of the players, and they were all literally noobs. They were literally, all of them were noobs. They were like between 50 and 100 games a piece, each player. So they were literally noobs. I always thought it was just people dabbling. I didn't think they were, I thought there was a percentage of noobs, a percentage of like mid-tier players, a percentage of higher tier players, kind of in equal proportions in that game. And what I found was tier 1 games, they're full of tier 1 players. So going by that, in mid-tier, you know, the majority of the players, I'm going to say they're mid-tier players. You know, they're tier 5 players. Because before I would say, oh, it's mostly people, you know, higher tier players like myself starting out the grind of a new line, etc, etc. I don't think so. I think mid-tier games are full of mid-tier players, you know, and I'm not putting them down. They are what they are. I was once a mid-tier player, you know, when I first started my grind towards the E100. But what I'm saying is, coming from, you know, being a higher tier player and playing in these mid-tier games, you know, it didn't give you a sense of satisfaction winning or losing. When you lost, it was very, very frustrating because of the fact that you could have won the game very, very easily if you were in a slightly speedier tank, shall we say. And when you won, there wasn't a sense of satisfaction. Wow, I beat you through skill and knowledge and, you know, etc, etc, all of that good stuff, because of the fact a lot of times you would be unloading your gun on you know, on your opponent, and he wouldn't even be angling his tank or anything like that. You know, he'd be sitting there and just taking his punishment. And you know, I would picture them with the controller down on the floor, literally untouched, apart from their finger pressing the button, fire, 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 you know. So there's something to be said about that, you know, because this tank only goes up to tier 6, and like tier 7, tier 8 is when grinds start getting really, really tough, you know, really, really challenging, so to speak. So will this become my go-to tank for, you know, training crews, earning silver, all of that good stuff? No, not really, not really, you know. And to me it was far too a slow tank, and it's definitely not a game changer. I mentioned this before. It's not a game changer. It shuts down flanks very effectively if you know how to play, all of that good stuff. But because of the fact that you're slow, defeats would feel unnecessary, because it was simply a lack of speed that would cause that defeat to happen. You just couldn't get over to where you were needed for your team. You know, that flank on the opposite side of the map would get shut down, and you just couldn't get there in time, and you would lose due to base capping. You know, there's a lot of base capping going on at mid-tier games. Well, everybody knows that. But it's just people want to grind it. They want to move up to the next tier. You know, people are grinding, so they just want to win. You know, the blown up tanks is important, but winning the game is just as important. So there's a lot of base capping in these mid-tier games, and also Arty. A lot of Arty in play in these mid-tier games. You know, you'd see a lot of times 2, 3, 4 pieces of artillery on each side, and Arty is bad news for this tank. It's a big, massive tank, and it's very, very slow. Having said that, I still had fun. It's up to you guys. Take it easy. Adios, muchachos.